Good morning, internets! This is Car Stuff with Catherine. My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about car stuff, and the car stuff we're talking about today is my new car, which is a truck! Oh, yeah, we are right now inside of the brand new 2019 Chevy Colorado pickup truck. And let me tell you how this happened. So, for those of you that have been watching this for a while, you know that my previous daily whip was a 2012 Chevy Volt, which I bought used. Now, I love the Volt. I don't have anything bad to say about the Volt. If you have a Volt, awesome, keep it. If you don't have a Volt, maybe consider getting one for your daily commute. If you aren't living like I'm living, and I'll get to that in a minute, then the Volt is a perfect solution. However, here are some things that were going on with the Volt. I crossed the 80,000 mile mark, which means that the power charging system, battery pack, all that is no longer under warranty by Chevrolet. As soon as I crossed 80,000 miles, and I mean like 80,000, like less than 80,100, it started getting weird. It started throwing weird codes. It just started getting funky. And when I started doing some research about what these codes mean and now what do we do, it just looked like a game of chasing ghosts. Just sensors start to fail, and when that starts to happen with your Volt, you're going to end up spending so much more money on it. Number two, at that time when I purchased the Volt, I got a terrible interest rate. I've done a lot of cleaning up to my credit since, and this time got financed through GM Financial for less than a third of the interest that I had on the Volt before. The thing was never going to get paid off. That's a problem. And lastly, I need to now drive a lot. I need to go to LA about once a month to take care of my grandmother. Things have changed in her life a bit, and she needs some looking after that she didn't necessarily need before. And I want to take care of my Grammy, and the Volt is absolutely terrible at road trips. It gets when it's on its generator, it doesn't get amazing mileage. Honestly, our Hyundai Accent gets better mileage than the Volt did. So and it just, I mean, you lose propulsion power. It'll be like, propulsion power is reduced when you're going uphill, even in mountain mode. And that's an issue. And it just was really terrible at the pass, El Cajon Pass in between Las Vegas and LA. It going up the pass, man, it would barely do it every time. And I drove my Volt, like I didn't baby it, I drive my vehicles. Case in point, I bought this on Friday with 12 miles on it. It now has 321 miles on it. 329 miles on it. The very first thing I did was take it off-roading. So this is, like I said, the 2019 Chevy Colorado Z71 off-road. So I didn't get DLD. Got a, upgraded model. We're making about 309 horsepower and about 367, I believe, foot-pounds of torque. With the off-road package, with the, the lift on it. It's, comes a little bit lifted from the factory, and the suspension and the 4x4 setup. And I wanted to take it and see what it could do. So Rob took me to, directed me really to Christmas Tree Pass, and taught me how to use my truck a little bit. And we took it out and got it dirty. It's dirty right now. Good jewelry is meant to be worn, and I drive my vehicles. And here's the other thing. I grew up in a camping family. I have not had camping in my life in many years. And I want it back. I want to be camping. I want to be out in the wilderness, and I couldn't take the Volt anywhere. It had no ground clearance. The range on it is, like I said, very limited. And as a commuter vehicle, if all I am doing is going to, from work to home, which is what I'm doing right now, and home to work, then, it makes perfect sense. It's a magnificent vehicle, but that's not all I want to do with it. And like I said, I was doing some more road trips, and I want to go out into the world, and anytime I wanted to go out and do anything, I was having to I was having to pay for a rental car. Now, the payment on this is considerably larger than the payment on the Volt, naturally. However, And this is where it gets interesting when I factor that I was making 2 payments. I was paying for a rental car at least once a month, and I was making a Volt payment. Then I'm already spending that money. I might as well have something I actually want. Just gonna go ahead and park now. And yeah, completely screwed that up. So still, and I'm not gonna edit this out. You guys are gonna see me parking this like a dumbass. There we go. Still getting used to the fact that this thing's twice the length of the Volt. That's gonna take a little bit of getting used to, but that's not so bad, really. And but it's wonderful. I've got leather seats. I've got heated steering wheel. I've got heated seats and backrest, which are independently controlled. And we're just about there. That same beeping noise, because it's still a Chevy. And now we are here. So, that's about my commute to work, by the way. So all of you who are going to be like, you're going to burn so much more gas. Okay, yes. I am. But on a daily basis, I'm really not burning a whole lot of fuel because I live so close to my office. So for my daily commute being literally a mile and a half, this V6 isn't really going to be breaking my bank. And frankly, I'm not a teacher anymore. So putting gas in my truck it's a non-event. This thing is wonderful. And when we took it off-road, it was more than capable. It's got an amazingly comfortable ride. Here's the other thing. The Volt was causing me pain. So I'm not going to get into the whole story, but I have a bad knee. I was in a very bad accident in 2012. I don't have a meniscus in my left knee, and that leg is a little bit shorter than my right after all the surgery and everything. And it hurts all the time. It's a shitty knee now, and it hurts. So, and the Volt being as low as it was wonderful, had those great bucket seats. Let me see. If you drive a low car, you know what I'm talking about. When you get in, your knees are above your hips. They're above your ass in a lower car. And so that means that when I would have to turn to get out of the car every time, I would have to squat at an angle. I'd have to squat to get myself out. And it would hurt. And it would hurt a lot. And if I had to run errands and get in and out of my car multiple times in a day, by the time I came home, I could barely move. That might seem, if you don't have knee problems, you don't know what I'm talking about, but that would spiral. It would turn into hip pain. It would go up into my back. And then I would by the end of the night, I'd be in tears if I had to run errands. And I always have to run errands. I always have stuff I'm doing, and I needed to be in something higher up. And when I went to Chevy to go see what was going, cause I'm a Chevy guy. I'm personally brand loyal. I don't have a problem against other brands, but I personally like Chevrolet because I speak Chevy already. I'm already familiar with their products. I'm familiar with the way Chevrolet tends to do things. And it's special to me. I learned how to drive in a Chevy truck. I fell in love with who is now my husband in a Chevy pickup truck. And I have a great affection for Chevy pickup trucks. Here's additionally, I was painfully bored with the Volt, which doesn't mean it's a bad car. What was boring about it is it was a good car. It was incredibly reliable. And it got me everywhere I needed to go, and it started every time, which is great, but it wasn't any fun to drive. I took no pleasure at all in driving it. It was just a means to an end, and it didn't spark joy. I walked out to my car and I stopped making videos for months because I had nothing left to say. And this goes on adventures. This does things that the Volt won't do. And I just wanted something completely different. And this is something completely different. And it meets all my criteria. It's bigger, so I'm not low to the ground trying to get in and out of it. And I can go places. And we're going to be taking a very epic road trip coming up pretty soon. But now, for the grand reveal, I've been wrecking my brain since I bought the car on Friday. What do we name it? Cause I name my vehicles. It's unlucky to traverse the world in an unchristened vehicle. I feel so, we name ships, I name cars. and I needed it to have a name. And in talking to everybody, it was actually my youngest, Alyssa, who came up with the name for it. So Buggy, I love you. You're super smart, and it was an absolutely brilliant suggestion. So drum roll. This is Dinah, named in honor of Dinah Shore with the Dinah Shore Chevy Show. She was the very first woman to have a car show ever. It ran for 10 years. It was basically advertisement for Chevrolet. She was in advertising. I'm in advertising. She's a brilliant marketer. She was a very talented singer. And that old song, you know, see the USA in your Chevrolet. That's Dinah Shore. She, do some reading about her. She was a complete and total badass. Like, she really, really was. Back before women were really allowed to be badasses. The lady was gangster. And, later in her life, she had a couple of year-long love affair with Burt frickin' Reynolds, and she was 20 years his senior when she did it. So, like, in addition to all of the great Chevy stuff, she made, like, the best Chevy commercials you've ever seen in your life. She totally cougared Reynolds. Like, how cool is that? Like, so this is Dinah. I know that Alessandro was a boy. Pickup trucks are girls, just so you know. I'm not saying they're for girls. I'm saying that, like, every time I see a pickup truck, I'm just like, oh, look at her. I don't know why. They just seem like girls to me. And this is Dinah. So, everybody meet Dinah, the Colorado. And, you're going to be seeing a lot more of her in the future very soon. And, we're going to go on some really good adventures. There's also a lot more I can do to this. There wasn't anything I could do to the Volt. There's nothing you could do to a Chevy Volt. I blacked out my badges. And my grill, yeah, that's about what you can do to it. So boring. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that car, but Alessandro was giving me a snorgasm. It was too much lameness. But there's everything for pickup trucks. There's everything that you can do. I want to level it. And I don't want to bring the rear down. I want to bring the front up, by the way. I want to put a leveling kit on it. It definitely needs wheels and tires, because right now I'm on stock wheels and tires, and it looks like it skipped leg day, and that's not okay. We all know stock wheels are not okay. I want to change the grill. I like the Bison grill. Right now, I'm sure I'm going to change my mind a million more times. I want to do exhaust on it. They make a Flowmaster kit for this. Now, it is a V6. So, it's going to sound like a V6. And I don't want to hear a bunch of crap from V8 guys about my V6, okay? I make more than sufficient horsepower. I'm making 3 times as much horsepower as I used to drive around in, and I'm making a bazillion torque, okay? It's, I make more torques than horsepowers. So there's nothing wrong with this V6. It's a strong motor. They put it in everything. But it's not going to sound as good as a V8. There's no way to make it sound as good as a V8, but there is a way to make it sound a little bit better than it does right now. It always sounds kind of like you're being followed by a swarm of angry bees, because V6s are buzzy like that. But, you know, what are you going to do? And, yeah. Oh, and I have already... See that right there? Yeah. So it used to be when... I'm going to sneeze. Oh, so many allergies. It used to be when I would take Lily out, my granddaughter, out into the world, I would have to go through the rigmarole of, like, getting the car seat out of her dad's car and, like, moving it into my car and blah, 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 blah. This is also part of the reason that we need it out of the Volt, because she's going to be in a car seat for a few more years. Because, like, these days, I guess now we keep kids in car seats until they're 15, 16. I don't know. We keep them in car seats for a long time because that's the rules. And she's 3. And we were always transferring her car seat around. And then even once her car seat was installed in my car, it was very difficult to get her in and out. I wanted something where Grammy can put her, because I'm Grammy. I have a Grammy, and then now I'm a Grammy. So I promoted my Grammy to Super Grammy. Just how that works. Just so you know. So that's my Grammy. I'm Grammy. So, like, when she's going to go on adventures with Grammy, I want her to be able to get in. And I want her to be able to see stuff. And I want to be able to take her places. And I want to take this baby camping. I do. I grew up camping people. And I want to impart that to her, and I want to go places and be outside, and I want to take her to all of the national parks and teach her about John Muir, and I want to see the continent, and I want to take her to see it. And we live in North America, and it's huge, and it's wild, and it's fantastic. And also, I live in Las Vegas, and you live on an island when you live in Las Vegas. People don't realize this, but there's the only stuff to get to, like the next nearest big city, you gotta like a city that really like has amenities of a city, is Los Angeles, and it's 4 hours away. You're in the middle of the Mojave Desert. You might as well be in the middle of the ocean. It's everything around you is just as desolate and just as survivable without the right equipment. The pickup truck makes sense to me. And like, listen, I'm a Nevadan, and I have been working on other people's trucks for a long time. A long time. I've been working on my husband's truck, and I love that truck. I love it. That truck is his spirit animal, and it's a Chevy. I worked my father-in-law's truck, which was a Chevy. But is now my son's truck. So he drives around in the gray truck. And now I have Dinah. I want my own truck. It's time. So, that's what's happening. And, I hope you guys stick with me for the ride. It's going to be fun. I don't think, Alessandro is my last EV. I really don't. Sometime in the future, when technology comes along, I think I'm always going to want something bigger. I don't think I'm ever going to get back in a little car because like I said, it just hurts too damn much. But Rivion's making pickup trucks. Rivion's making SUVs. It's a thing that's going to happen in the next couple of years. Now, they're going to be prohibitively expensive for me, for a long time, but they're going to be out there. And as those things continue, like that technology comes along and those things continue to come along and advance, and we get electric pickup trucks, we get more electric SUVs rather than just the Model X, rather than just the Jaguar I-Pace. The Jaguar, really badass, awesome electric SUV. I've seen one recently, and holy crap, if I could afford it, that's what I would have bought. Thing's amazing. Like those things are coming out. I don't think that Alessandro is going to be my last EV, but it just wasn't right anymore. And if you're wondering, yeah, I cried when I said goodbye to the car. I did. Because he was very important to me. But whoever gets him next is going to be incredibly lucky and going to get him for a really, really good deal. And, so goes life. But I live in Nevada, and everything around me is Nevada, and I want to go see it. And I want to get out in it, and I want to get to other things in the country. And the limitation of the paved interstate highway system, which I realize is fantastic, it's too much of a limit for me, and it's time to go do stuff. So I'm going to go do stuff and make videos about that stuff. And I'm feeling excited again. If you've ever been a car guy who's not excited about the car you're driving, then you know the pain. And I'm a car guy that wasn't excited about the car they were driving. It's a low down bummer. So I think that's going to about do it for me today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get the office opened up, make myself some tea, and get to work. In the meanwhile, I highly suggest that everybody go YouTube, the Dinah Shore Chevy show. Say that 5 times fast. And go learn about Dinah Shore, because she really was an amazing badass. And, the amount of money that Chevrolet sunk into her show to make it the coolest commercial possible, was wonderful. And I mean, it was a variety show that the entire purpose of it was to sell Chevys. And I just respect the crap out of that. It's an amazing piece of Americana, and Dinah was amazing. And, yeah, I like historical figures for, my vehicle names. And, this is my new Chevy. So we're going to call her Dinah, and, me and Dinah are going to go on adventures. If this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing right over here. Here's some other things I think you'll enjoy right down here. For those of you that have been patiently waiting and are watching this right now, thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been a really weird, bumpy road, but we're going to go down some more actual bumpy roads, pretty soon. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get the sign off down correctly. This has been Car Stuff with Catherine. My name is Catherine. Please remember to like, subscribe, and smile.